Well, the ocean is so bizarre in and of itself. There's just so many weird creatures in the ocean.
It's such an alien environment.
And I saw, like, right in front of me, this huge eyeball, you know, like this big, staring, unblinking right at me.
It goes around my arm and I can feel the gripping. It's actually, God damn me, this,
From seeing the most heart-touching encounters with deep-sea creatures, to finding things no one was supposed to see in the depth. Hang on to no secrets, the ocean is hiding from us. Without waiting further, let's get into it. Deep Blue. I believe you probably know who Deep Blue is. It's a massive great white shark, and some brave divers chose to challenge its strength just to check if sharks could really sense when humans are scared. One of them dove into the water with 4 sharks circling around, including one that seemed particularly grumpy. She swam too close that you could see every detail of this massive giant. Although this surprising footage quickly went viral because of the daring divers, but I would suggest that in such encounters, staying inside the cage is a must. Serpent Surprise. The sea always has a way of surprising you when you least expect it. This time, a diver in Brazil saw something truly mind-blowing underwater. Out of nowhere, a massive serpent appeared. It looked like a real-life anaconda. Surprisingly, this 23-feet serpent seemed really friendly and even got curious about the diver's camera and gave it a lick. And through its calm and peaceful behavior, it proved that it's not the monster many think it is. Tiger Shark. In 2016, a spearfisherman and his buddy were out enjoying a dive when things took a dramatic turn. Suddenly, a massive tiger shark appeared. She kept coming for them again and again. Luckily, he had a pole spear, which acted as a crucial shield against the shark's aggressive advances. Eventually, after a tense struggle, both of the divers managed to scramble back onto their boat.
wow, I got mad footage. Oh, fuck me.
Scared yet safe, they glanced back at the water, knowing they had just narrowly escaped a fierce encounter with one of the ocean's most dangerous creatures.
Watch out, look, he's eating it. Oh, yeah.
Seal surprising diver. After Octopus, here comes wild seals. You won't believe it, but this diver has been swimming for more than 20 years, only to be greeted by a wild, playful seal. He had been exploring the Northumberland coast and formed such an incredible bond with these curious creatures.
Sometimes when a seal comes and looks up close in your mask and there's that connection between you and a wild animal, it's when they will do things such as peel off my rubber diving hood.
These seals are sharp. They can tell the difference between you and your gear, sometimes even playfully tugging at your diving hood or mask.
But the reality is I very rarely dive with the same seal. I think, having done it for 20 odd years.
Even though you rarely see the same seal twice, every dive with these wild seals over the past 20 years brings a fresh personal experience. Goblin Shark. Before we move on, check out this monstrous shark in action. Goblin sharks are often called the creepiest sharks in the ocean, and for good reason. Just look at those jaws. They're like something from a nightmarish creature. Evolution really outdid itself with these guys. Their jaws can extend a full 3 inches to snatch up prey, making them look like they stepped out of a sci-fi horror film. They usually hang out thousands of feet deep in the ocean, so spotting one is rare. But if you do, hold on tight. You might need a new pair of pants. Monkfish. A sea diver was diving into the deep blue when he encountered something truly eerie which he hadn't encountered before. It might sound like a stretch to call this fish a monster, but the angry monkfish comes close. With its bulging eyes, awful body, and those unsettling lips, it was enough to scare the diver. In an instant, the monkfish jumped and snatched a coalfish with lightning speed. Wanna share with you guys that this fish also can grow up to 1 meter long, making it a formidable and fascinating find. Bizarre sea creature. Look at this thing, yeah? Keep looking. And there it goes. What just happened? See what a sea diver had caught on his camera, the Gulper Eel.
Is that a Gulper Eel then?
Wow.
It's a true wonder of nature. This fish can inflate its mouth like a balloon to gulp down huge prey. When it's time to eat, the Gulper Eel's pouch-like mouth expands to swallow large meals whole. Its fascinating mouth and unique way of moving make the Gulper Eel a real marvel. Nature sure outdid itself with this one. Magna Pinna. While diving deep down in the ocean, this man encountered a Magna Pinna. Also known as the big fin squid, this creature is a type of squid that lives deeper in the ocean than any other known. It has been spotted at depths of up to 6,000 to 12 meters below the surface. This means it is the only squid known to live in the Hadal zone, which is the deepest part of the ocean. The tentacles of this squid are said to be 4 to 8 meters long. Although it does not harm any person, you would still not want to encounter such a gigantic animal. Crocodile. This diver had a lucky escape from an unexpected sea predator, crocodile. He was diving in murky waters when he encountered this massive crocodile. He first spotted the huge croc sliding into the water.
I've just seen a really good-sized crocodile slide into the water.
Its presence was making the surroundings even gloomier. As he tried to track the beast, he could see its eyes ahead of them. The croc, easily over 13 feet long, was on high alert, making the diver reconsider its decision.
This is the closest I've ever been to lying alongside a dinosaur.
Trying hard not to panic, the diver felt like he was staring down a dinosaur. The crocodile came up for air, but then went right back after them. Knowing they had to get out fast, the diver and his buddy made a dash for the surface. It was, without a doubt, the most terrifying animal encounter he'd ever experienced. Here's another incredible encounter when the diver at first came across a massive 15-foot crocodile.
Water in the wild between a massive 15-foot crocodile.
And just when he was processing this sight, he spotted another massive 13-foot alligator, known as El Champo. He had seen the El Champo before, but the alligator's size still amazed him.
Is a 13-foot wild alligator. This gator is enormous. His head is bigger than my chest.
Then the water visibility was getting worse, so he chose to leave the site for his safety. Diver shaking hand with octopus. While diving, the diver spotted a giant Pacific octopus, one of his favorites.
The giant Pacific octopus is one of my favorite animals in the world.
He slowly approached it with his camera all ready, but the octopus wasted no time. It wrapped its arms around the camera, clearly curious.
Investigating me with his special arm that he uses to try to find females.
The diver held out his hand, and the octopus wrapped its arm around it, almost like a handshake.
Suckers, it's like this most incredible force pulling you in every...
He felt its tentacles gently tugging, as if the octopus was saying hello. After checking out his hand, the octopus moved onto his gear, feeling it all over. Then it floated away through the kelp, leaving the diver with a beautiful memory of this encounter. Goliath Grouper. While a diver and his wife were spearfishing, a huge Goliath Grouper showed up out of nowhere. It wasn't happy to see them and made a beeline for their pole spear. The diver tried to fend it off, but the grouper was relentless. In a flash, the giant fish grabbed their smaller catch right off the spear and zoomed away. The diver and his wife watched in surprise as the grouper disappeared into the deep blue. They couldn't help but be totally impressed by the sheer power of the grouper's strength. Frilled Fish. Hearing the word frill, you might imagine a fish with some beautiful frills on its neck. Well, this fish for sure had frills, which might not be as beautiful as you imagined. And here's why. This diver encountered the weird creature deep down in the ocean, which looked like a zombie. It was said to be the frilled fish because of the fringed appearance of the 6 pairs of red-colored gill slits at the shark's throat. Also considered a living fossil due to its primitive features and eel-like physical traits. This animal is also called the lizard shark. Well, it's pretty understandable why they named it a shark. I would definitely call it one too if I look at the sharp teeth this creature has. Diver meets shark. As you go deep down into the ocean, your chances of encountering a shark increase by 90%, and what this diver experienced will give you the evidence. He was busy filming with the camera when a great white shark came from behind. It poked the man's head slightly as if the animal was in a rush. The man was left shocked and quickly covered his head for protection when he saw the huge animal swimming right above him after giving a little bump on his head. I am not sure about this diver, but if I were there, that would probably be my last time in the ocean. I mean, who wants to get poked by a great white shark? Jellyfish encounter. While scuba diving in the waters of Antarctica, this man named Jonathan encountered something he probably did not expect to see deep down. Jonathan stumbled upon a massive jellyfish swimming through the water with its huge tentacles that were almost 50 feet long. He said that the bell of the jelly was more than 2 feet across, which made it the largest jellyfish he had ever seen. Thankfully, he was not stung by it because we all know how bad it would have turned. Mysterious icy structure. This man, while diving deep under the icy water, found something strange. A large castle of ice that felt like another world. No one could expect to see such a structure in the water, especially like this, which seems almost too perfect to be true. The man said that it looked like another dimension. Although what those structures made from ice are not identified, it leaves a question. What were those? Did it have a deeper meaning, or was it just because of the cold water? Encountering massive fish. This man, while peacefully diving closely, encountered this huge great whale shark. It almost looked like the shark was trying to give him a little hug, or maybe the fish had some other plans. As the man saw it getting too close, he slightly moved it away from himself. And it was obedient enough to not bother it again, because we never know how quickly their mood can switch. What would you do if you got a hug from a huge shark? Would you take it or run for your life? Bahamas shark feeding. Deep down in the ocean on an artificial reef called the Ray of Hope, which was a ship that was sunk 60 feet deep into the waters, these people filled the empty tummies of countless sharks. With baits on the rods, they fed each shark that came closer. Now this is what you call a buffet in the ocean, right? Touch Me Dolphin. How can we talk about oceans and seas without including dolphins? This man, while diving in the warm depths of Tahiti in French Polynesia, probably met the friendliest creature on the planet. This dolphin was named Touch Me Dolphin because of the way it acted on encountering a man. The creature loved to get some strokes from the man, as it seemed like it was moving itself closer to the man as he was caressing it. And that wasn't all. The animal even brought its calf so it can get some belly rubs too. Brave man saves shark. When we think about sharks, we automatically make this image of them chasing swimmers or hunting other sea animals. But it's not always the case. Let me show you why this dangerous animal can be endangered too sometimes. These men, while diving in the waters of Maldives, saw this huge shark asking for help. Trapped badly in a net, the poor buddy was having trouble swimming freely in the depths. So these people helped it get out of the trap. They tried to remove the net however they could. Soon, the animal was free from the annoying net and freely swam back to its home after saying a warm goodbye to the kind divers. Meeting an eagle ray. A man while diving in the depths found an interesting creature. This animal, commonly known as the eagle ray, came towards the man and even gave him a handshake. These creatures belong to a group of cartilaginous fishes in the family Meliobatidae and mostly inhabit open oceans instead of seas. They get their name as they have a large V-shaped snout that looks like a beak, just like an eagle. So seeing one there was quite possible as the man. It circled around the man almost as it wanted to play a little with him. The adorable interaction went on for some time, giving us all an incredible moment to enjoy. Shark BFF. I have evidence to show you why sharks make better best friends than humans. This female diver met a shark that came towards her to say hello. It all started with a slight interaction that happened 5 years ago. And since then, there's no going back. The diver visits her underwater best friend at least once a year, and surprisingly, the shark recognizes her. She carefully caressed the huge animal too when he saw another one of them coming to get some petting. They circled around him for a while to get some love and then moved back to their home. Massive freighter encounter. As this man was swimming, a massive freighter came towards him that left him speechless. It forced him to cling to the rope, tightly knotted with the ocean beds for safety. As the ship moves right above him, he moves even closer to the rocks to keep himself safe from the propeller spinning only a few short meters from the diver's head. The diver got lucky. He had the ropes to protect him and came out of the water as soon as he could. Mysterious creature underwater. This man's encounter deep in the ocean will surely prove why some things are better unsaid. As he dived into the depths, he noticed this unusual eel-like purplish creature that had translucent fins. It swam backwards and forwards like a strange creature. It could be a newly discovered underwater species or something truly out of this world. But one thing is for sure, our seas are full of secrets that we have no idea of. Man meets humpback whale. This lady met a huge humpback whale that seemed to be a little anxious.
He had me on his head and he rolled over and I was on his chin and he wouldn't leave me alone. He wouldn't stop.
It seemed to push the woman slightly through the water. It rolled her over with its head, not wanting to hurt her, as if it was trying to tell her something.
Thinking, get me out of here.
As confused as you are on seeing this whale reacting this way, the lady was too.
Thinking, get me out of here.
Until she saw the real reason.
Big tiger shark up there.
Yeah.
A huge shark appeared just some distance away. That's when she realized that the adorable animal was actually trying to protect her.
I went, oh my god, he was protecting me.
As soon as the shark went away, the whale let the diver go back to her boat.
Man,
Yeah,
the way.
it's pretty bad.
Underwater cemetery. One cannot imagine finding something so astonishing while scuba diving in Florida, but these scuba divers did. They discovered a deep sea reef that turned out to be an underwater cemetery. Surrounded by fish life and corals, this cemetery amazed everyone. As beautiful as it seemed, it was creepy as well, because those pretty artifacts were actually the remains of people. Later on, the researchers searched more about it and got to know that some people used to bury the remains of their loved ones down there, so their memory could live forever. And here we are, years later, considering these remains as scientific evidence. Encountering a seahorse. While scuba diving, a group of people met this little buddy. This seahorse stood still in front of the humans as if it enjoyed their company. The divers were amazed by its appearance. Slightly touching and petting it, they were looking at it move slowly back to its home. The seahorse is one of the 46 species of small marine bony fish in the genus Hippocampus. Mainly found in the shallow tropical and temperate saltwater throughout the world, this creature is surely an interesting one. Would you like to encounter one of these little buddies too? Let me know in the comment section. Octopus shows underwater snacks. This diver met her long-lost octopus friend while diving deep into the water. I never knew octopuses are this friendly until I saw this video, man. It grabbed the lady's hand so passionately, as if it was trying to console her or maybe telling her to take it with her. But there was more to it. It took her to show her a snack she had saved. The woman gently gave it a kiss and left it back near its home, and that's where she had to say goodbye to the newly made best friend. Strange animal found underwater. A man, while scuba diving peacefully in the depths, found a mysterious animal. This red-colored creature that almost looked like an alien had a huge bloated body and very short several legs. As it placed each of its feet on the surface, it kind of looked like it had tiny tentacles at the end of each leg that spread beautifully as the animal took each step. Yeah, you're right, it made me confused whether I should call it creepy or beautiful. So why don't you decide and let me know in the comments below? Curious fish. A man while diving encountered something that will not fail to surprise you. He saw a group of fishes and decided to feed them. As he picked up a shell and hammered it, he met this buddy. This one fish with a huge head was maybe a little too hungry and wanted to get the food quickly into its mouth, or maybe it was just curious. The man slightly pushed the fish away so he could do his work. As soon as the shell was cracked, he fed the fish. In other words, he begged the fish to get off him. Turtle asking for help. This man encountered something he did not expect while scuba diving. A huge turtle approached him as if it was asking for some help. It swam slowly in front of the man, looking at him with sad eyes, places for meditation and reflection, but also played a role in protecting marine life by creating new habitats. It was a spot where divers felt a deep sense of peace while witnessing how spirituality had been intertwined with efforts to enhance the ocean's health. Turtle went happily back on his journey. Japanese underwater Atlantis. In 1987, a diver off Japan's southern Ryukyu Islands made a startling discovery. 25 meters below the surface, he found a series of almost perfectly carved steps with straight edges. Known as the Yonaguni Monument, this 50-meter-long, 20-meter-wide structure is one of the world's most unusual underwater sites. Nicknamed Japan's Atlantis, the pyramid-like monument is believed to be over 10,000 years old. Some speculate it's the remains of a lost Pacific civilization, possibly built by Japan's prehistoric Jomon people. Others argue it resembles natural formations like Northern Ireland's Giant's Causeway, formed by volcanic activity millions of years ago. Underwater temple in Bali. Near Ahmed, on Bali's eastern coast, divers once discovered a site featuring a beautiful underwater temple, which was further explored by some Indonesian archaeologists. These Buddhist stupa-designed structures served not only as places for meditation and reflection, but also played a role in protecting marine life by creating new habitats. It was a spot where divers felt a deep sense of peace while witnessing how spirituality had been intertwined with efforts to enhance the ocean's health. Submarine beneath diver. Have you ever experienced a spooky moment while diving? Well, someone did, and today I'll show you how. On March 16th, 2018, in Hawaii, as a man was scuba diving to explore the Yo 2537 shipwreck in the depths of water, he encountered a submarine that passed right beneath him. Thankfully, he was not too close to the object and didn't get hurt. This huge Atlantis submarine encounter was probably the first time these divers saw a submarine this closely. Whale asking for help. As some scuba divers went deep into the ocean to take some marine pictures, they spotted a huge whale that desperately approached them looking for help. With trash and plant debris stuck in its mouth, which prevented it from closing the mouth, the animal was helpless. One of the divers gathered enough courage to approach the whale. This woman gently removed all the trash from the animal. It was moving its enormous jaws to move the debris as well. This encounter gave the photographers this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, which will probably stay in their mind as a beautiful memory. Underwater monster. A creepy-looking animal that almost looked like an alien was what came right towards the diver. It had a long, lizard-like body, legs and human arms, and the kind of face that would almost give anyone chills on encountering it. Some people said that it was an iguana, a reptile which is a genus of herbivorous lizards that are native to tropical areas of Mexico and Central America. Although it greatly resembled the iguana, the divers were not sure if it really was one or not. What do you think? Was it really just an iguana, or was it a sea monster? Man saves crab. In the depths of the waters of Victoria, this scuba diver spotted a crab. Not just any crab, but the crab was entangled in a fishing line. The little buddy was having trouble walking, so the kind diver decided to help him get out of the fishing lines. It took him a few moments, but the diver carefully removed all the stuff and set the animal free. Underwater train. Engines built in the 1850s were glimpsed for the first time in 1985 by a local diver over a century after their mystifying journey to the ocean depths. Despite being in the water depths for decades, their bodies remained intact. This discovery raised many perplexing questions, such as how did a set of vintage trains end up like this in water? The most widely accepted explanation is that the engines were being shipped from Boston to New York and were possibly pushed or washed overboard in a storm, which began their sunken journey. Massive fish meets diver. This giant grouper, who looked extremely docile at first, gave the man the shock of his life. It interacted calmly with the diver for some time, and as soon as it got the opportunity, it poked the diver a little on his stomach as if it tried to give him a little bite. Appearances can be deceiving, right? This fish is known to be a species of marine ray-finned fish, usually inhabiting the Red Sea and the eastern coast of Africa. And it seemed like the one this man met was an adult grouper with a length of almost 180 centimeters. Camera lover fish. This pufferfish probably wanted to steal the diver's screen time when it decided to come right in front of it. This lady, while enjoying her dive deep in the water, met an unusually adorable fish. The camera lover pufferfish must have dreams of becoming famous. One thing we all know about these fish is that they blow up whenever they feel threatened. Well, surprisingly, this one didn't. It calmly came to the diver, posed for the video, and went back. Man encounters cowfish. As this man was diving in the depths of the waters of the Indo-Pacific region, he met something unusual. He saw a longhorn cowfish, also called the horned boxfish. This fish is a species of boxfish from the family Ostratidae, which is recognized by its long horns that protrude from the front of its head, rather like those of a cow or bull. What's even more interesting is that it can grow up to 50 centimeters. If severely stressed, this species may be able to excuse toxins, so the man did a good job staying at a distance and not chasing it for long. Seal playing with diver. How can we talk about oceans and seas and not talk about seals? Don't worry, the world might forget them, but 50 might cannot. This diver encountered this 450-pound gray seal. As the man stretched his hand upwards, it held the hand with its flipper and squeezed it. Soon after a while, another one approached the diver too, almost as if they loved welcoming the human in their area. After circling around the man, they went back, giving the man an incredible experience to remember. Man meets orca. Diving peacefully in the Bay of Plenty near Bowentown in New Zealand, this diver encountered a massive orca. As this diver was enjoying his dive, he encountered something strange. The orca, separated by its pod, gave a stare to the diver before she went in the other direction. But that was not all, as she came back, and this time with another orca. Soon, both of the huge creatures came to the man as if they said a little hello to him, and the diver surprisingly remained calm and called it the best day of his life. The subscriber's pick. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. As this man was diving, he encountered this huge red devil squid, also known as the Humboldt squid. As soon as the man saw it, the squid grabbed his hand almost like it didn't want to let go of him.
with its tentacles around my arm, and I could feel the gripping. Bright red, look at the pulsing there.
Accustomed to such encounters, the diver calmly managed the encounter. But for those of you who don't know, this animal is a large predatory squid living in the eastern Pacific Ocean. It is also said to be the only known species of the genus Dositicus, a species that lives around 700 meters deep in the ocean, and it's rarely spotted by explorers.